Algebra 2s, we have made it to the part 2 questions finally. We're on page number 9, starting the extended response from your Regents exam. So we're going to start right off with something that you definitely need to know how to do. Explain how negative 8 to the 4/3 can be evaluated using your properties of rational exponents to result in an integer answer. Now, quick vocab test. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers, okay? So we have to explain how this evaluates to become a whole number, okay? You can't just type it into a calculator and get a whole number and be like, I typed it in my calculator and I got a whole number. They got you because it said using properties of exponents, okay? So we can try, get some points, but what they want you to do is we need to know that any fractional exponent, the bottom becomes the root. The base stays the base, and the guy in the exponent spot stays the exponent, okay? So it says explain. That means you got to write in words. So something like 3 is the root. 4 is the exponent. There, how's that? 3 is the root, 4 is the exponent. So now we need to go and we need to say, okay, what do I do now? Well, there's a couple options, but what I would do is I would type in negative 8 to the 4th power in your calculator. Okay, so negative, ooh, gosh, geez, that has to be in parentheses. Has to be in parentheses, negative numbers. Negative 8 to the 4th, 4096. So I evaluate negative 8 to the 4th, okay? And then you take the cube root of that. So cube root, remember we got to use this funky button right here, boom. I'm going to put cube root here, 4096 here, and it evaluates to 16. I took cube root of 4096. There you go. So it evaluated to an integer, a whole number. Now, this one, you don't know how to do yet, okay? It's a probability question. We just haven't gotten there yet, so I'm going to teach it to you. A study was designed to test the effectiveness of a new drug. Half of the volunteers received the drug. So I'm going to call that R. Received the drug is 50%, half. The other half received a sugar pill. The probability of a volunteer receiving the drug and getting well. Okay, so this is how I'd represent it. Drug and getting well. This is and. Okay, so they got the drug and they got well is 40%. Okay, this is huge in Algebra 2. What is the probability of a volunteer getting well given that the volunteer received the drug? That word right there in Algebra 2 is always on your Regents exam. So if you are asking a given question, and this is how I would write it, what's the probability of them getting well? Then this line, given that they received the drug. That's how you'd read it. Probability that they get well, given they received the drug. This is how you calculate it, okay? It's a probability, so it's going to be a fraction. On the top of the fraction, you want both of these things to be happening. They got well and they took the drug. Okay? On the bottom of your probability is always going to be the second part of that given statement. All we got to do is look in here and find those numbers. So what's the probability they got well and took the drug? Right here. They took the drug and got well is 40%. That's on the top of your fraction. On the bottom, Remember, it's always the second part of that given. Given the volunteer took the drug. What's the probability that someone took the drug? Half the volunteers received the drug. I should have done D for this. Half the volunteers took the drug. There you go. Took the drug. Half the volunteers, that's 50%. If you divide those two things, you can do it right in a calculator. I'll show you. Divide 0.40 over 0.50. Comes out really actually quite nice. 0.8. That's how you calculate it, okay? You are going to see this on your Regents exam. So what is the probability of a volunteer getting well given that they receive the drug? Getting well given they receive the drug. On the top, you want both of these things to happen at the same time. They get well and take the drug, divided by whatever is here. They just took the drug. Boom, divide it out and you got it. All right, if you guys ever have questions, you guys know, get a hold of me. I miss you all. I hope I see your faces really soon.